Hey, let's take a look at the comments.
I can't read.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night to all of you, and welcome to a new episode of Regular Reviews. Shit! You can feel it on the air. And I'm even cosplaying as him. Kind of. I have a dog friend.
I hate you.
So, yep, today we're going to talk about Earthworm Jim. Armikrog, the most awaited video game by the people who played the Neverhood back in 1996, and the comeback of Douglas Maple into the video game industry since 1999, I guess. Let's get this started. Where the fuck is the camera?
In the ancient times of 1995, Steven Spielberg created DreamWorks Interactive Studios. Everything was alright, but it needed fresh projects to stand out from other companies. Not far away, Douglas Maple left Shiny Entertainment and created his own company known as The Neverhood, along veterans who also worked on Earthworm Jim. Maple approached Spielberg with his idea of a game made of plasticine, which was approved, and then in 1996, the project saw the light of the day as The Neverhood Chronicles. This game was met with positive reviews for its beautiful and bizarre aesthetics, puzzles, humor, and story. Sadly, it wasn't a commercial success, selling approximately over 600,000 copies, all because people started losing interest in point-and-click adventure video games at the time. A sequel to The Neverhood was released 2 years later, and it was known as Skull Monkeys, a 2D platformer more reminiscent of Naple's previous work on Earthworm Jim, and it was a PlayStation exclusive, and the latest game by the company was a 3D fighting game called Boombots. Later that year, The Neverhood closed its doors due to their game's low sales. Everyone went separate ways, and these weird yet charming games were the only thing left from a talented studio. Until 2013. Enter Pencil Test Studio, an independent video game developer and animation studio founded by Mike Ditch and Ed Schofield, teamed up with Douglas Maple to create a spiritual sequel to The Neverhood. It was successfully funded on Kickstarter, and it was recently released for PC, with future releases on Wii U and even PS4.
As I stated in my Neverhood review, I really love that game. And after seeing that this new project was being made by the same people who made the Neverhood, made me really want to support this project. But the real question here is it worth your time? Well, let's find out on Armikrog.
The introduction is presented in a musical cinematic, telling the story of the dying planet Ixen, which only hope to survive is to bring crystals known as plutonium from the planet Spyro 5. In the planet Ixen there are 3 astronaut brothers, Bugnut, Numnut, and Tominut. 2 of them died trying to retrieve the crystals, so now it's up to Tominut to save his home planet along his colorblind dog alien friend Big Big. Ixen needs our help. Let's go, dear! They crash into their destination planet, resulting in the malfunction of their spaceship.
Yeah, this does not look good.
So they are forced to investigate the surroundings after the attack of a fluffy little monster. What can I say? I love these stop-motion cutscenes. They're detailed, they're goofy, they're colorful, and really well animated. Everything about them is top-notch. The moment they step into a strange building, the game finally starts.
Beaky, what is this place?
Got me!
And it is somewhat your standard point-and-click adventure game. You click anywhere and Tommy will walk that way. You click in something and Tommy will pick it up. Simple as that. There are objects scattered around the game, so it's your job to collect them all because they are key elements to complete this adventure. To use an object, you must click where it belongs, and Tominot will automatically choose the object you need. This could be considered good and bad. It is good because it keeps the whole collecting objects part very simple. For newcomers, it is an easy way to get used to the mechanics. Tominot is the one who decides which is the right object to use so the players can focus more on the puzzles. And it is bad because you're never able to see which objects you have collected so far. Like the Neverhood, there's no inventory, so you'll never know if you collected an object you need to continue this journey. The presentation is beautiful. Should I say more? Every location stands out enough to be recognizable and unique from each one, which are complemented very well with the art style. And the characters' designs are similar to the Neverhood. Well, that's obvious because this game is supposed to be its spiritual sequel, but they still have their own charm and are recognizable from one another. Holy cannoli! It's a ghost! Kill it with fire! Basically, this guy is the one who will help you by giving information about Armikrog or clues if you find yourself stuck. His clues are sometimes not clear for me because he's playing the wise guy. Tell me your secrets, and don't forget to use drawings. It's easier that way. I like drawings. It's not hard to decipher his riddles. In fact, they are additional puzzles. Would you look at that? A puzzle for a puzzle. I should stop doing that. Later on, the galactic duo finds a baby. Yay! Who introduces herself. The baby says
Okay.
after this, P starts to cry. To calm the baby down, Tommy have to solve a musical puzzle. Remember this? It is something similar. You have to put the plushies back up in the right order to complete the lullaby. The plushies on the back provides you the song that you must copy on the front row. It is an actual fun puzzle. The only bad thing here is that you must wait to hear the back row first and then the front row. You need to be patient if you want to solve this, while hearing a crying baby, even though he does not cry as loud and annoying as So yeah, Tominot is the main character and he's the one who must solve and do everything. Except going through this door because it seems that clay people can't bend their knees. Yeah, it's big time! This is an interesting and important game mechanic. This little alien is not only your sidekick just for the sake of being one, but he will help you to reach objects or go places that Tominot simply can't. Which I must say, it's a nice change, and it spices the game a little bit from the monotony of playing as Tommy. Not that it's boring playing as him, but it is nice to change the character once in a while. And Big can freaking fly. That's freaking awesome! Best freaking dog ever. This also shows how close they are. They help each other to get their way home because they are friends.
Nice work, Beak.
In fact, there are puzzles that requires the use of both characters to solve them. One little detail that I really like is that Big does not leave a room without Tommy.
It's just like you and me, dog. Dog?
Hi.
That's my little buddy!
One interesting aspect worth mentioning is that Big is colorblind, which makes everything look spoopy. Oh, my throat. But this is a good thing because he's capable of seeing things that are not visible for Tominot, like weird symbols and oh hello Mr. Octopus that I forgot to mention before that helps me reach different levels and goes no every time I click you. In fact, I want to do it again. While investigating Armikrog, you'll come across octopuses that will not only help by giving you a lift, but they will tell you the story about the fortress you're in a strange language, which somehow feels natural, odd, but natural. There's even more backstory to Armikrog in the form of text located in a wall, just like the Neverhood. But everything is written here and not in 26 screens. And no, don't expect something short. It is still a good amount of text, which is not necessary to read to beat the game, but it does give an in-depth story about the people who lived here. If you love the music on the Neverhood, I think you will like this soundtrack. Terry Scott Taylor returns to bring us a unique, yet bizarre piece of music that you won't forget. On the Neverhood, while it gave an overall feeling of a crazy world, I'm not really sure if it fitted you standing on a room. Don't get me wrong, I really liked that game's soundtrack, but it felt like it complemented more the characters and the story rather than what you're seeing on screen. On Armikrog, the music feels more atmospheric. Most of the time, it fits the current situation you're in while remaining to be a catchy, entertaining, and weird song. For example, here's the moment you enter the fortress.
Beaky, what is this place?
Got me!
And here's the song it plays when you ride a vehicle, which helps you to get into different locations inside Armikrog. My only real complaint about the music is that it doesn't play all the time,
probably take
and
this.
you will be hearing silence. But there may be a reason for that. The absence of music may want to replicate the feeling of solitude, investigating an abandoned place without being sure if at every corner we'll find something dangerous or deadly, like Tomb Raider and Uncharted. If that's the case, then I love this idea, but it's a bummer that the music stops when you change certain screens. Why, Uncle Terry? Why?
As a point-and-click adventure video game, the puzzles play a big role here. And they are... okay. Not outstanding, but some of them are somewhat clever.
When you compare them to the Neverhood, they're not really that hard. But it's good to know that there are not moments you'll say, "How was I supposed to know that? I'm looking at you, Fifth Court!" Does this mean that the puzzles are easy? No. They are challenging enough to let you think for a good amount of time on how you can keep going. If you get stuck in Armikrog, it is not because the game is unforgiving, but instead because you forgot to explore the surroundings. There are puzzles that require you to remember weird signs to use them later, or puzzles you have to solve at the moment you found them. In either cases, you'll spend your sweet time trying to solve them. My first playthrough on Armikrog took me over 7 hours, and I have to say that I was expecting more. I mean, it was a blast to go through Armikrog solving the puzzles, admiring the atmosphere, and listening to the music. Oh god, the music! But I wanted more. The Neverhood was not a long game if you knew how to solve the puzzles, but the first time you decide to play it, it will surely take longer. The same can be said about Armikrog. It is a short game, but it all depends on how much it takes you to solve the puzzles. If I had to say how long it would take to complete Armikrog, I think I'll go with maybe 5 hours? Let me repeat, it all depends on how much it takes you to solve the puzzles. Before I forget, there's voice acting in Armikrog, and for the most part, they do a great job portraying the characters. And I think they feel natural while talking. Big Big is voiced by Rob Paulsen, and there are other guys there. Okay, fine, I'm sorry, but I don't have any idea who the others are. So here's a little help from Wikipedia. Taminat is voiced by Michael J. Nelson from Mystery Science Theater 3000, along John Heder, Veronica Belmont, Bob Buffy, among others. There was something disappointing. We don't get to see a lot of interaction between the main characters. You can see them during the cutscenes, but they don't share much during the game besides a few lines.
Ooh, smells like bacon in here.
And the story. Oh boy, it is very simple. It's just the heroes trying to get back home, finding out what happened in the fortress, and there's the baby! We have optional backstory, but the main characters don't get much development throughout the game.
Nice work, Beak.
The cutscenes, while entertaining, who am I kidding? They are still good. I simply can't say anything wrong about them, but I wish there were more of them. There are some at the beginning, and for some reason they disappear until near the end. People from the internet have reported that the game was released with a big amount of bugs, and I never noticed until I checked to see if they were correct. Being honest, I never run into one of them the day I got the game. And I got the game on day 1. Well, on my second playthrough, I wanted to check some of them, and I found a bug in a door. And there it was. You were able to go through a door without solving a puzzle. But why people decided to go through the door when it was clearly closed? I know, it's tempting in real life, but why? Anyway, the developers have been working on updates since the game's release to fix the issues. For example, the door glitch does not exist anymore. On the musical puzzle, now you can click anywhere in the ring to finish faster. Now there's a cursor that lets you know which object you can pick or use, and the music plays constantly?
The music plays constantly, but what about the loneliness, the solitude, and the feeling of investigating and abandoned? Fuck it, I can listen to Uncle Terry music from beginning to end now. Where the hell am I going?
After Tommy calms Pete down a few times, she burps some crystals and gets kidnapped by...
Bugnaut! Do you remember? The guy who was mentioned in the intro. Once.
Alright, this is getting bizarre. He came out of nowhere and it brings some questions. Number 1, what is he doing here? 2, why is he deformed? And most importantly, wasn't he supposed to be dead? It would make a lot more sense if Dominant and Big started talking about what happened to him before, how he died, and stuff like that. But throwing him into the story like that, it's just random. Then we play with some levers, and the octopuses start talking in English. Oh, that's clever! And they tell us that the fortress of Armikrog was a peaceful place where these two people known as father and mother lived. But one day, they were attacked by a strange and weird creature seeking for destruction. It was Bagnat. It's obvious. He first killed father, and then mother while she tried to escape in a teleport, but luckily she had P before she was vaporized. The reason why Bugnut kidnapped P was because she has plutonium inside of her. He wants to extract all the crystals without knowing.
She'll never survive the extraction.
Yeah! Tommy and Vicky to the rescue! With these two great heroes, no villain has chance to...
Vicky.
Tommy saves P and they get teleported away. Then you have to solve a puzzle which involves traveling around Armikrog one last time to activate a machine which needs the crystals that P gave you before.
Tommy Knot, you have saved my daughter.
And so the crystals activate the building, which turns out to be a giant robot ship controlled by the mother. She thanks Tommy for saving her child and informs that the plutonium there will be enough to save his planet. Oh no! Bugnut! Oh! That was fast! I knew there was a reason for that lever.
Fatality.
I think they could have done a lot more with the story, especially this part. Develop more the characters and story. It's not that the story is bad, but it is simple. Anyway, when they leave Spyro 5, Tommy is still sad for Vicky.
Beaky.
Who wouldn't?
And then Mother brings him back to life.
Hey, Tommy,
Kind of.
I feel kind of funny.
Oh, Vicky, you're the best. Suddenly, they receive a distress call
What do you know?
from...
It's Numbnut.
Do you remember the guy who was mentioned in the...
Aye, aye, Captain.
And so they go to save Tommy's brother.
wanted to say
Oh,
that.
hi Bagnut.
And that's Armikrog. Yeah... This game could have been a lot better with a little extra time. But that doesn't mean it's a bad game. This is a point-and-click video game that really shows that it has beautiful and weird visuals, weird yet catchy music, and colorful and interesting characters and backgrounds. It may not be the longest and hardest video game out there, but the puzzles have their fair difficulty that will make you spend a lot of time thinking. And yes, the story may lack some depth, but it has good moments, all because of the writing and humor. So, should you buy this game? I don't know, because it's hard to answer that question because everybody on the internet has a different opinion about this game. I must say that I don't regret buying this game. It is a charming and imaginative little game that is surrounded by all these first-person shooter video games. And it's really nice to see a colorful and a friendly video game. Besides, I showed this game to 3 of my friends and they love it. That has to mean something, right? That was quite an adventure. Adventure? Adventure! Doug, let's have an adventure!
I would rather play Bratz.
It's settled, let's go! Doug? No! It was so young! Okay, I can't do anything about it. You will be my new sidekick now. Friendship.
Hello people from the internet. If you're hearing this message, that means that you didn't change the video. Thank you so much! I mean, thank you. You are the best. Now that we're both here, I would like to suggest you to click that like button only if you enjoyed this video, and maybe click that sexy subscribe button so you don't miss any future updates. If you're interested in watching more videos, then I can offer you my latest review on... Bratz. Or if you want to know more about the Neverhood, then click here. Also, in the description below you can find links to my Facebook, Twitter and Tumblr accounts which have extra content such as drawings and words. Yep. Alright, that would be everything. Have a nice day and goodbye. Dummy? What are you doing? Dummy, seriously, you have to stop. Dummy! Dummy, you're scaring the hell out of me! You're acting like a cat, please stop! Dummy, stop!